Good evening and another talking technical show, and I know most of you are planning to go away for the long weekend, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Well, I'm not that keen always to go away on a long weekend. I'll rather use some of the other weekends because I like to go to a place, and we would like to go to a place where it is quiet and, as the Afrikaans would say, rustig on a long weekend. But okay, let's kick off. We've got some nice requests, and of course, let's see if we can go through all of them, because I'm quite surprised. These markets surprised us all. The American market got a hammering, and our market got a beating. But let's look at Wellington's request. He's looking at Valvoline, those guys that produce the oil, and I mean, they listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And Wellington, if I look at this chart, look at what happened. I mean, even if the oil price had a beautiful rally, I see on a daily chart here a beautiful, right at the top, a hanging man there, and it turned out to be a beautiful confirmation candle. And what happened? It fell off a cliff. Now, what we see here, and this is what makes me excited, Wellington, is that although we're seeing all these red candles, look what we see. There's a little gap there. And there's another gap there. Now, I'm going to mention both of them. The one is between 31.28, and that one will close at 31.64. And the other one, it will open up at, there you are, 35.80, and it will close at 35.97. But, as we say, the momentum to the downside is still healthy in place. There you are, you can see it. Momentum is in place, and if I draw that line, I see a beautiful falling wedge, and this falling wedge can easily trigger a relief rally. But where will this relief rally kick in? Unfortunately, only when this support line, this resistance line can turn into a support, and that will be, I just want to get the level there for you. There you are. It should break there. There you are. Break at 30.99, let's make it 31, and if it breaks above 31, we can easily find that the share gives us a beautiful relief rally. And if you buy above 31, make use of a stop loss of, there you are, 29.76, and then of course this target, this little candle gap here that I saw here, that will be my first target, and if it really starts to go, my top target will be 34.24. Then this falling wedge played out. Of course, if it really takes off, it can actually go and close this gap right at the top. Sluggish chart, but what I like about it is, look at this harami candle, a belt outline candle. There's a little bit of nervousness. Look at that gravestone doji. So I need this resistance line to turn into a support, Wellington, before I can get excited. Well, let's have a look at Merafe. I think Sally asked about Merafe. Let's have a look at Merafe. Resources. And I mean, this share held up quite well. If you look at some of the other shares, I mean, in the last 10 days in our market, I think our market, the Aussie, dropped from 72,000 or just close to 72,000 to around 63,000. I mean, that is almost 9,000 points in one go. And that just tells you this market was overcooked like you cannot believe. So, what do I see here, Sally? It went up all the way. There's the gap first. I'm concentrating on these gaps because I think they will close if the market comes down. And Merafe, of course, the moment the commodities will come under pressure, we'll probably see that this one also comes under pressure. And where's the gap? The gap is between 147 and it will close at 142. But there's two scenarios here. It's either this one, and the reason why I'm liking this one is because while the market was going down, this share did not actually fell a lot, and there you are. There's a beautiful symmetrical triangle. And what will this happen? What will this give us? That is a lamp pole formation. There's a consolidation, and the big question now is, can it break above this resistance line? And that line is sitting at R1.68. If it breaks above 168, we can say that this is a beautiful pennant. It is a confirmation of the momentum wants to go higher. Then we can go back to the previous high of about 180. So I will buy it if it breaks up, make use of a stop loss of 161. On the other hand, If it breaks below this line, and that will be 161, exactly at that 161 level, this little pennant can be I almost can say trigger a sell-off, and if that breaks off, it can actually go down a little bit lower. It should go to 149. I will just watch this gap here, because I think it can easily close this gap if this share loses some momentum. And just keep in mind, Sally, this share had from the beginning of 2022 from R1.16 to R1.80 almost in one go. So it had a beautiful rally. So if you are long or you've got the stock, just watch that level. And if you want to take your profit, remember, nobody can go broke by taking a profit. Well, we had a request on Tesco, that massive company in America, and Stephen asked about Tesco. Stephen, well, if I look at this chart, same thing, almost like that Valvoline. It had a massive sell-off from $12 all the way down to about $10. That's a 20% drop in a matter of few weeks. You can almost say from the beginning of February to the middle of March. And what do I see here? I see this beautiful breakaway gap, and that I like, because there you've got what I call a beautiful doji, or somebody will say a spinning bottom. What I like about it, look at this nice gap here. There's the gap. I just want to draw it in there for you. There you are. And there's the gap, and that's very bullish. While this gap is open, it just tells you that the bulls came out and they are quite convinced that this will give us a beautiful relief rally. I just want to draw in that one correctly. There you are. If this gap remains open between 10.58 and 10.64, that tells you that the momentum is clearly to the upside. And when you see there, it's already working in this gap. That gap is between 11.02 and where's the low there? 11.11. So it can easily go and close that gap. And there's another gap. I'm going to give that also to you, 11.61. And it will close at 11.72, and even if it goes up, it can break that or close that gap between 11.87 and even that gap there at 11.94. And can you believe it? There's another gap here right at the top, and that's between 12.25 and 12.41. So there's plenty momentum to the top if it carries on. And the reason why, because look at this waterfall formation, and I've seen over the years the waterfall formation usually gives you a V reversal. And how does a V reversal look? Maybe just show the viewers here. There's the one line that I just used as an illustration, and there you are. You've got first a waterfall formation, and then you've got a V reversal. So if you do buy it, I will stick to my stop loss. I will use this gap as my stop loss, and that will be $10.58. While it's above 10.58, I'm happy, and I mean, it's not a big stop loss. It looks like this is a nice chart for a turnaround situation. Well, let's look at Barrick Gold. Mel is asking about Barrick Gold. Now, Mel, I hope that you've watched the programs before, because we actually called the share as a beautiful buy a while back. And the reason was we saw this beautiful rounding bottom, and the buying signal was at that level there. There you are. There's the buying signal. And what happened? It broke above this $21. It went all the way up to $25.30. And I mean, the chart still looks good. The momentum is still clearly to the upside. That you can see. Higher lows. There's a low. There's a higher low. All the way higher lows. I will only get nervous, Mel, when it gets below this line there. There's the support. And I just want to show you. There's the support. While it is above 23.49, momentum is still to the upside. The only thing that worries me a little bit is a beautiful lamp formation, and it needs to take that little high out there to give us, look at what happens. There's the low, there's a little bit of a higher low, there's a lower low. It needs to get above that little line, and I'm going to give you that line, that number there. There you are. It must get above 24.52 to give it new momentum to the top. Otherwise, I think you've got to stop. Because, I mean, if you buy now, it's maybe a little bit late in the rally. I'll be a little bit nervous because, remember, gold is below 2,000, and the American dollar is nowhere close where it either want to strengthen or weaken, and Barrick Gold is nothing else than a gold play, a massive gold company. I mean, I'm sure you made some nice money, and just watch these levels, because this lamp formation can easily trigger a little bit of a sell-off. Christine is asking about Orion Energy Systems. Well, Christine, if I look at the chart, unfortunately the momentum is clearly to the downside. Let's maybe just show you here. Oh, where can we take it to? I mean, just look at that. From the higher of $11.68, it's now at $2.80. And what I always say to myself and to some clients, if you've got a share that's been dropping all the way and you cannot see a proper recovery, it's sometimes better for this share to actually work on a consolidation base. Sometimes it takes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, does not matter. You just wait. So if you've got a share that's looking like this on Orion Energy Systems, and I can tell you what happened here. When the share reached this level of $12, everybody was so keen on solar and alternative energy. And remember, that was in 2021, early 2021. And since then, suddenly the world realized that we still need coal, thermal coal, and we need normal, what we can say, power plants to run some energy or to get some energy. And what happened? The share fell on a heap. But I mean, as you say, and as I say, wait for this consolidation. This consolidation will only break up above $3.35. Now, above $3.35, we can easily see a little bit of a bounce, but I will patiently wait for that level to break before I will get excited. And my low there for a stop loss will be $2.74. And where can it go to? $3.66, $4.41, and even as high as $4.58 over the short term, medium term. Well, let's think about Ian Cruikshanks. He passed away during the week. A wonderful colleague. I learned a lot of him, and it was an honor to work with him. Rest in peace, Ian. We will miss you. And thank you. We'll watch out for the next show.